On the eve of the anniversary of the full-scale and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine by Russian troops, I have summarized my political platform and hopefully that of many other decent people. 15 theses of a Russian citizen who desires the best for his country. What was all this about? And what are we dealing with now? 1. President Putin has unleashed an unjust war of aggression against Ukraine on ridiculous pretexts. He is desperately trying to make this a people's war, trying to turn all Russian citizens into his accomplices. But his attempts are failing. There are almost no volunteers for this war, so Putin's army has to rely on convicts and forcibly mobilized individuals. 2. The real reasons for this war are the political and economic problems within Russia. Putin's desire to hold on to power at any cost and his obsession with his own historical legacy. He wants to go down in history as the conqueror Tsar and the gatherer of Russian lands. Three. Tens of thousands of innocent Ukrainians have been murdered, and pain and suffering have befallen millions more. War crimes have been committed. Ukrainian cities and infrastructure have been destroyed. Four. Russia is suffering a military defeat. It was the realization of this fact that changed the rhetoric of the regime from claims that Kiev will fall within 3 days to hysterical threats of using nuclear weapons should Russia lose. The lives of tens of thousands of Russian soldiers have been needlessly ruined. The ultimate military defeat may be delayed at the cost of the lives of hundreds of thousands more mobilized soldiers, but it is inevitable. The combination of aggressive warfare, corruption, inept generals, our weak economy, and the heroism and high motivation of the defending forces can result only in defeat. The Kremlin's deceitful and hypocritical calls for negotiations and ceasefire are nothing more than a realistic assessment of the prospects of further military action. What's to be done? 5. What are Ukraine's borders with Russia? The same as Russia's with Ukraine, which we internationally recognized and defined in 1991. There's nothing to discuss here. Almost all borders in the world are more or less accidental and cause someone discontent. But in the 21st century, we can't start wars just to redraw them. Otherwise, the world will sink into chaos. 6. Russia has to leave Ukraine alone and allow it to develop the way its people want. Stop the aggression, end the war, and withdraw all its troops from Ukraine. Continuation of this war is just hysteria caused by powerlessness, and putting an end to it would be a strong move. 7. Together with Ukraine, the United States, the EU and the UK, we have to look for acceptable ways to compensate for the damage done to Ukraine. One way to achieve this would be lifting the restrictions imposed on our oil and gas, but directing part of the income Russia receives from hydrocarbon exports toward reparations. This should only be done after a change of power in Russia and the end of the war. 8. war crimes committed during this war have to be investigated in cooperation with international institutions. Why would stopping Putin's aggression benefit Russia? 9. Are all Russians inherently imperialistic? That's nonsense. For example, Belarus is also involved in the war against Ukraine. Does this mean that the Belarusians also have an imperial mindset? No. They merely also have a dictator in power. There will always be people with imperial views in Russia, as in any other country with historical prerequisites for this. But they are far from the majority. There is no reason to weep and wail about it. Such people should be defeated in elections, just as both right-wing and left-wing radicals get defeated in developed countries. 10. Does Russia need new territories? Russia is a vast country with a shrinking population and rural areas dying out. Imperialism and the urge to seize territory is the most harmful and destructive path. Once again, the Russian government is destroying our future with its own hands, simply in order to make our country look bigger on the map. But Russia is big enough as it is. Our objective should be preserving our people and developing what we have in abundance. 11. For Russia, the legacy of this war will be a whole tangle of complex and at first glance, almost unsolvable problems. It's important to establish for ourselves that we want to solve them, and then begin to do so honestly and openly. 12. After the war, we will have to reimburse Ukraine for all the damage caused by Putin's aggression. 13. We need to dismantle the Putin regime and its dictatorship, ideally through conducting free general elections and convoking a constitutional assembly. 14. We need to establish a parliamentary republic based on the alternation of power through fair elections, independent courts, federalism, local self-governance, complete economic freedom and social justice. 15. Recognizing our history and traditions, we need to be part of Europe and follow the European path of development. We have no other choice, nor do we need any.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу Президента тут, прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Всі ми тут, наші військові тут, громадяни суспільства тут, всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. Так буде далі.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Well, it's heaven calling, and I have a message from the Russian citizens who care about our country and our Ukrainian friends, along with the rest of the entire free world. And their message for you is: get the fuck out of Ukraine! Now! You will lose. And that's because you, Mr. Putin, are the biggest loser the world has ever known.